I'm Joe Nussbaum. I'm the president of ACP International. We're Arlington, Texas based. We're a manufacturer of signs, decals, tags, and products that identify utility networks like telephone lines, electric lines, gas pipelines, that kind of thing. Well, I got some good advice from some friends who are a little older than me, and they said, allow some time. You've got to take some time to transition your business. And I did some research on it, and basically people were saying you really need 7 years to transition a business, to think about it. So I acted upon that advice and took it to heart and started looking at different ways to transition from me being the chief executive of the business. I started looking at different options, the private equity option, the employee ownership option, maybe selling to an employee. Looked at several different ways to do it and settled pretty quickly on the employee ownership option. I knew a lot of people who had sold their business to a private equity company, and almost universally, it didn't seem to work out. It didn't work out for employees. So many times it didn't work out for the private equity company. And the only thing that I saw that really worked was it made the seller's wallet fat, but he also often had a broken heart. And I didn't want a fat wallet and a broken heart. I wanted to be proud of where our business was after I was gone. And so that's why I decided not to go the private equity route. So often, from what I saw, and I'm not talking about a ton of experience, but 3 or 4 people that I know sold in private equity, employees got laid off dramatically. It was very disruptive to them. Vendors' relationships with the companies were changed dramatically, usually for the worst. Customers got worse service. So all those things, I don't want to see that happen to my company. It's heartbreaking for all that to happen. I feel like we have good relationships with vendors, with employees, with our community, with customers, and I'd like to see that continue. And I felt like that the continuation through employee ownership was the best way to accomplish that. Well, I looked into the ESOP model, and we're a fairly small company. We have 65 employees, of which maybe 20 are kind of administratively adept at doing things. A lot of them are production guys out in the shop, so they're not administrative type workers, but the ESOP administrative burden was so great, I was very intimidated by that. I think it would be too much for us to handle all the complexities of an ESOP. The EOT was very simple, and I'm a big proponent of simplicity, and that's why I was drawn to the EOT model. One thing you have to do, for instance, with an ESOP is you have to value the company every year. People technically own shares in their retirement account, so you have to value those shares every year. That's an expensive process. The monetary cost of maintaining your ESOP annually is high, and it's a lot of work. EOT is much, much simpler. And I think for a company of our size, an EOT is a slam dunk answer. I talked about how the EOT was a simple model to convert to an EOT, but operating an EOT is very, very similar. I'm still the CEO of the company and will be for a while longer, but operating the business there's very little difference than before. We have a board of directors, and the board of directors selects the president and the CEO. That's me for now. And the existing management structure of the company just continues like it was. So there's no there's no complexity in running the business that's different than before. We're a C Corp now instead of an S Corp. That's not that big a thing. That's just a little different in how taxes are prepared, but other than that, there's not really any major difference in operating the business. First bit of advice I would give any owner is to take the advice that I fortunately took, and that is prepare in advance. It's going to take some time. If you don't prepare in advance, you're going to be rushed and your options will be more limited. Secondly, I would say there is more to define success than the top dollar you get in your pocket. There's the legacy of your company, the well-being of your employees and your community. There are lots of considerations to make transition work, and it more than just money.